Hey, man. I'm live again. I had so much fun last time, I decided to do it again. And this is why you need to ring the bell down here in the lower right corner of the screen. If you ring the bell, you'll always know when I go live. Hello, Roundhouse Warrior. So it's kind of funny. I was sitting here minding my own business. Actually, I was watching some videos of recent videos that I posted here. I think it was last month. And I don't even know why I had it on my head, but as I was sitting here, I noticed I still had the visor on my head. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get my screwdrivers and see if I can relocate this monocle. I called it the Colonel Clink thing last time. And so I sort of was, hello, Nate Jackson and Northeast Rail Productions. I sort of was wondering last time when I did the product review, when I did my Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker impression, whether or not this monocle could be switched over from this side to this side. Remember I said that? I'm left eye dominant, and having it on the right side doesn't help me because I don't use that eye for really close-up stuff. And so I did it, and it worked. So the answer to the question from my review, hello, Philip. The answer to my question from the review was, in fact, yes, you can switch it from this side to this side simply by taking the screw out on this and replacing it with this one and vice versa. So it does work. I just thought you'd want to know. And something else I also did since the last time I did my Darth Vader impression was I put the tape on these things on the LEDs, the LED housing, I guess, right, for the batteries, so that this won't pull off all the time when I'm working. And the thing that was funny about it was after I did all this, thanks, Sir Productions, I appreciate that. And so I was sitting here watching reviewing these videos on the channel, to, seeing if I can maybe figure out some way to do something better or whatever. And after about 30 or 40 minutes, I realized I was still wearing this thing. It's like, what the hell? Why am I still wearing this? So I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I thought I'd mention it because, hi, Lone Wolf, because I think because I was trying to express how comfortable it must be if I was wearing it that long and didn't even realize I had it on still. I think that's kind of funny. Anyway, so you have the update now on this is the, yeah, it was actually $4.99 when I got it. And boy, what a great $4.99. I don't know if I've ever found a better value for $5 than this little visor. Now, if you have really good close-up eyesight already, then it doesn't matter, right? Because you don't need something like this, but I don't. You'll notice I'm wearing these stupid reading glasses, right? Because I can't even see the damn screen this close without something, some kind of help. So yeah. Oh, Roundhouse Warrior. So what this does, I suppose you could just watch the review. I did an impromptu product review on this a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a week ago. And what it does is it allows you to see stuff close up. And what's cool about this one is you can tilt it up or tilt it down depending if you want to, well, actually it's even big enough that if you want to keep your glasses on, you can do that too. But it lets you see stuff really close up. So, and it has this little inside here, it has an extra level of magnification. So if you lower this, which I always do, I can't see anything without it being close like this or magnified like this. But if you lower it, you can see stuff really close up. Like I'm looking at this postcard that we had printed a while back. And when I look at it with the magnifier on, I can see the little dots where the printing is that produces all the different colors in this. You don't see it when you just look at it like this, but when you magnify the crap out of it, like with these things, I can see the dots where it was printed. So anyway, so I wanted to just do a quickie. I had so much fun doing that live webcast last week that I thought I'd just do another one when I was sitting here realizing that I had this thing on my head still. I thought, oh, well, why don't I just tell people first? Why don't I check if this can be moved over from here? And then if it works, I thought, oh, well, I'll just do a quick little live webcast again. Anyway, does that explain? Does that explain what I'm doing here today? So that's the update, the Darth Vader helmet, as I refer to it now. In fact, can have the monocle, the Colonel Klink monocle, switched from one side to the other. And boy, still, I'm loving this thing. I use this all the time. I've been working on an N scale locomotive all week. I'm doing my first hardwired N scale DCC installation with sound, and it's coming along pretty well. I've run into a few hiccups here and there, and yeah, you'll have to watch it, Nate Jackson. Look in the channel for what did I call that video? I don't remember now. It's just from last week, so it should be pretty easy to find. It was an update. I wasn't going to even talk about this, but as I was recording this update, oh, I know what it was. It was a video reminder about a survey that I have on the website, tsgmultimedia.com. And yeah, as I was recording this little quick dealie that I was, reminding people about the survey, it came out on the 15th of this month, April 15th. So look for April 15th channel release or whatever, and it should come up in your search. But to answer your question, Nate, what I was doing was I had this on, and I don't know, every time I put this on, I feel like I'm putting on something much bigger than what it is. And I did a really goofy Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker reenactment. You really have to see it to understand what I'm talking about, because it's so lame. It's funny. I mean, I was busting myself up doing it. So eventually, when this live video becomes a video that you can search and find, I'll put a link up on the screen. It'll be over here on the corner so that you can look it up for yourself and see what I'm talking about. It's really goofy. Anyway, since I'm here, and when doing fine work, you don't blink like you should. Oh, I never thought about that, Philip. You're probably right about that. Anyway, what I was going to say is, since I'm here live, I'm going to show you this. I'm going to get up for just a second here and show you the model I'm working on and tell you a little bit. And also, since I'm here live, I am willing to answer your questions in the, what do you call this? Chat screen, I guess. So give me a second. I'm going to show you this model real quick. All right. Like I said last time, it's a good thing I don't do these things naked, huh? You would have just seen my butt. That would suck for you. Anyway, so what I have here is an old Bachmann. I know it's a little embarrassing, but I've had this model for so long, and it actually seems, it's a Spectrum, right? It's a -8, and it actually seems to run pretty well. It's apart now because I'm in the middle of doing the work on it, but it seems to run really well. I mean, for what it is, I think that the paint job is pretty goofy, and I'm sure that it's not prototypically accurate to the 9375, but I'm not a rivet counter, so I don't care. And what I want to do is I'm installing a Loc Sound Select Micro in this thing, and I found that it has a lot of space back here for a speaker. So I'm going to put in one of these sugar cube type speakers into it. And this is all something that's being made into a how-to video for the channel. So anyway, what ended up happening, it's sort of in a state of not being, I'm in the middle of it right now. One thing I will tell you, though, which is pretty cool. Hello, Saif. What's pretty cool is, and I'm grabbing this out of my box that's above the computer here, is that I did my first ever hardwired installation into this SD70 that I reviewed recently. And I put a speaker in here and everything. And it actually sounds pretty good. Now, when I did this, I did it off camera. I did not make a video about this one. But that doesn't mean I won't make a video about installing a DCC decoder into an N-scale SD70 like this. This is the one I reviewed. It's the Union Pacific. It's kind of a FUBI. The real Union Pacific 2219 is an SD60. And this model is actually a pretty good representation of the SD60, even though it's an SD70. So some of the grills and that kind of thing are a little bit not really correct with it, but the paint and everything else and the way it runs makes this a really good model. That's an Athearn, by the way, SD70. Fairly recent release. It's a very nice model. But I put in a Select Direct Micro. That's the board replacement. Now, this is not, it's not the right board for this. So I didn't just swap it out and do a direct board replacement in this one. And I'm not going to open it because it's a pain in the butt to get the shell off and put it back on. So I'll describe to you what I did with it. Trainaholic, I am not planning to do a review of the new Gevos from Scale Trains just because I can't afford to buy one. And they don't seem, for whatever reason, interested in having you sending me a sample to review, which is fine with me. They just won't get the exposure that it would give to them. Because we're rapidly approaching 18,000 subscribers on this channel. At this moment, it's at 17,700 and some odd subscribers. And thanks to everybody who subscribed. I really do appreciate that. But what I wanted to say about this is I took a Select Direct Micro board replacement style decoder that normally would just take out the factory light board, something like this, right? And then put in the new decoder and put your, wire your LEDs and such and put the speaker wires on. It doesn't work with that because it's the board is slightly the wrong shape to just replace a factory light board in this particular model. So what I did, and I'm going to do a video about this in the near future because I have a couple more of these that they were nice enough to send to me. Thank you very much, Chris, for sending those. I'm going to take probably the Norfolk Southern or the Illinois Central one that they sent me and do the same thing. This one was done for practice because I didn't know if it was going to work. These board replacement decoders aren't really intended to be hardwired the way I did it in here, but I made the connections to all the right places and it worked really well. So I'm going to do that and I'm going to show how to do that, how to hardwire a board replacement decoder that's not a board replacement into the model that you're working on. It's a pretty cool thing. And I was really, I'm getting all excited about it. So I was really proud of myself that I was able to do it. Because if you follow this channel, you'll know I'm not really like Mr. Hardcore Modeler yet. It was funny too, because when I was still working with Dan here, I would bring stuff up like this and he would just get this smirk on his face like he's creating a monster. And I don't know if that was really what he was smirking about, or maybe he was smirking because I was saying stuff that sounded like a newbie. I don't know. But have I ever wanted to own a steam locomotive? I don't really think about it that much. I'm sure I'll end up owning a steam locomotive at some point. And I'm sure that when I do, I'll go on and, install DCC into it. Cause I've really found out that I like this DCC stuff. I'm really liking the challenge of taking something like this completely apart, and putting the little connections and soldering little tiny stuff on it. I think it's really cool. Oh, a real one. Now, what would I do with a real steam locomotive? No, I really haven't thought about doing that. Yeah, Nate, I haven't heard from him in quite some time. So yeah, I'm talking about when we were working here together 6 months ago or whatever it was, and I started getting into this stuff. That's when he used to. I noticed it too. He'd get that smirk on his face and be like, like Dr. Frankenstein creating a monster, kind of look. But anyway, since I have you all here, I have a captive audience. I'm gonna grab one of these. Somebody's calling me. What is this? Oh, you know what this is? You guys get this too? Do you get these too? This is a phone number that's somewhat similar to numbers that I'm familiar with. And it's just some spammy crap, I'm sure. Some telemarketers. Anyway, it's easy for me to lose track, isn't it? I was going to say, since I have you here. Oh, I see what it is. Let me turn this off. Since I have you here, I want to show you, and since I'm doing a product review update, right? Because I did a product review update on the Visor. I'll do another product review update with you. So give me a second here. I want to show you this. This is really cool. Don't worry, I haven't left. Oh boy, that's great. I haven't left. I'm just on the other side of the room grabbing something that I want to show you. And also making a complete mess of my toolbox. I just stepped on my toolbox and spilled everything out of it. Oh man. Check this out. Here we go. These are the other SD70s from Athearn. These are really nice models. Now, the Union Pacific SD70, as I mentioned in my official product review, is a bit of a foobie. It never really existed. Union Pacific never had a standard cab SD70. It just never happened. They did have an SD60, which this, as I was saying a minute ago, resembles quite well. It even has the number of the SD60 that they had that it looks like. But check this out. These are really nice. I'm going to very carefully pull this thing out of here. Other companies that Athearn did the paint schemes for did have SD70s like this one. This is a really nice model. Now, I haven't gone and done all the little checking for the coupler height and all that stuff. But I can tell you, if it's similar enough to the UP one, this is easily a 9 spike model. 9 out of 10 spikes easily, because the UP one ran really well and the paint on it is really good. The webcam that I have built into my monitor here is probably not good enough to really show you the details on this thing, but it's a really nice model. And they produced this in other paint schemes as well that are accurate models. And in case you're wondering, I'm trying to figure out how you would say your name. I would imagine it's probably Michelle Gaudet. Foobie is a word that people use, I found, to refer to a stand-in for something until the real one is released, that kind of thing. That's why I said this SD70 is a foobie, because I don't think an SD60 model of the real 2219 has been released yet. So anyway, so I'm going to put the NS one away. And oops, I put it in backwards. Oh yeah, so my OCD does notice that. You see the UPC symbol? It has to go on this side. There. Now I'm happy. Funny how that works. But check this out. I'm going to show you a couple more of these Athearn models. I love these things. They're so cool. This one's I really like this one a lot. I like the NS one too. I can't wait to get sound and DCC into these things. But check this guy out. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do this without taking it out of the box, just because it'll save time. Look at this. Isn't that cool? And do you know what I like the most about these things? I'm going to see if I can get a pointer. This isn't very pointy, but check these out. Look at the treatment they gave to the radiator grills or whatever. These are intakes, I think. But my point though is that these grills have another coat of paint just on the grills to give them the depth. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Man. And by the way, guys, everybody, hi. I'm not ignoring the chat. I'm trying to stay focused on what I'm showing you on the video. But look at the slightly darker grills. That is so cool. And it gives a depth to them that you otherwise, if it was just blue, it wouldn't look that good. Another really cool thing about these is that the handrails are really thin, but they're really durable and really to scale, right? That's what the whole thin, yeah. Anyway, so I'm going to show you one more of these because I have one more that I can show you. By the way, these are from Athearn. Very, very nice models. They only come in DC, which is fine. Because like I said before, in the next, I don't know, maybe 2 months or so, I am going to show you how to hardwire a Select Direct Micro ESU decoder into these things. Ah, there's the UPC just where it belongs. And let me see. Let's see. There it is. Yeah. This is the other one. Oh, oops. I just realized I did something wrong. See, I'm getting distracted, you guys. Let's try this again. I put the Conrail one back together, but I didn't put the little plastic insert in there. I also just hit the microphone. Sorry about that. If you're listening with headphones, it probably just really rocked your world there. But yeah, the smirk is called the Tycho smirk. Okay. I'm not quite sure what that means, but probably if I watch this over, it'll make sense. I'm a little distracted because I'm trying to show you stuff, and I'm also trying to read the comments here. How about this, guys? How about I'm going to finish showing you this stuff since I'm doing product review updates, sort of impromptu here. I'll finish showing you the product review updates, and then I'll answer your questions, all right, on the what do you call this, chat screen, all right? So here's the other one. This is really great because you know what happened was I got the Union Pacific SD70, and then these other 3 showed up in a separate package. So I didn't even realize they were coming, or else I would have waited to do the product review on the UP SD70 until I had all of them and done sort of a group review. Luckily, though, instead, I'm able to do this on this little impromptu live update thing. Anyway, let's take a look at this one. This is interesting. I think I'll do the same thing. I'm going to try not to take it out of the container here. But this is another really nice one. How about that? Illinois Central. Now, I didn't check if Illinois Central 1027 is an actual SD70, but it sure looks cool, doesn't it? This would look nice probably with that UP. I remember I was in Niles, California. I was filming the Day at Niles video, which is one of the sort of compilation videos. By the way, I don't know how many of you know this, but I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to try to promote this more as time rolls on, because I'm really not good at self-promotion, and I try really hard to do it, but I always feel awkward, trying to tell people about stuff that I've done or that I have, because it just feels like bragging, and I'm not really big on that. The Death Star's paint scheme. Yeah. What I was about to say is I have a website, and I've been doing these videos I've been doing videos since 1998, but I'm doing train videos since 2005. And the website has about 30 commercial releases on it. I mean, these are DVDs, right? That are full length, real legit productions. And I mention it because I was reminded by what I was saying about doing a video out at Niles. It's a Day at Niles. And the A Day at Niles video, I saw an Illinois Central locomotive with a UP lash up on the Warm Springs subdivision. I think it was on the Warm Springs local, or maybe it was their auto rack train that used to go out to Numi. But anyway, so I was mentioning about the website because I want people to know that there are DVDs that you can buy, and it helps me. If you buy DVDs, it helps me do stuff like, for example, I was talking to Ken Patterson. I was just on the Ken Patterson What's Neat This Week show last Saturday night. We filmed for it, and he keeps saying, "Oh, you got to come to St. Louis. You got to come to St. Louis." And I can't afford to go to St. Louis right now. But if we had sales of DVDs on the website all the time, I could, So anyway, so I'll probably be trying to talk more about the website and about DVDs, commercial release DVDs, and so forth more often, just to sort of get some cash flow going here. Someone suggested, just do a GoFundMe page. And boy, I already feel awkward talking about real, stuff that I've already done. I would feel really weird asking people for money for a GoFundMe. It's just, I don't know, maybe I'm too proud or something, but I've just never thought about doing something like that before. I mean, it seems like it wouldn't really take much, because I mean, think about it. If you have 2,000 views in a week on a video in the first week that you released it, and each one of those 2,000 people donated $1 or even 50 cents, right? It would add up. And before you know it, you'd have enough to buy a camera or go on a trip or whatever. So anyway, Billy Strong, cool. I'm really glad that RFDTV is still showing the stuff. And RFDTV, in case anybody else is wondering, is it's either on cable or on satellite. It's not on a regular broadcast like, Channel 2 or something like that. And they've been broadcasting specially edited versions of the commercial releases I was just talking about that you can get on the website. They've been airing those for years now, and it's really great. Anyway, holy moly, I've already been broadcasting for 27 and a half minutes. So I'll try to answer your questions here. So am I an HO or N-scale guy? This is coming from Train Man. I do both. And to be brutally honest, I find HO scale way easier to work on than N scale. Sometimes I don't even need this for HO. I can just use these and I'm okay. So yeah. We OCD will rule the world. I don't know about that, but okay. And hello, everybody. I need to know what this Tycho smirk thing is, Brent. And by the way, Brent, I've been trying to figure out a way to factor in the fun scale that we talked about on one of these videos kind of recently. Okay, great detail there. Yep, that's why I was showing you. Which scale do I model primarily? See, that's a different question. I primarily model N, but I enjoy HO more because it's easier. Okay. Watching the SP trains when I lived down in South Carolina, I guess, way back. Death Star paint scheme. What is the Death Star? Train Man, is that a real question? What is Death Star? The Death Star was the ultimate weapon in the galaxy in Star Wars, twice. And they blew it up both times using the same trick. I mean, how stupid was the Empire to build 2 Death Stars that had thermal exhaust ports? Man, sometimes I talk to my cousin. We're both Star Wars fans, not extreme like some people, but we talk about stuff like that. Dude, how could they blow up the Death Star twice in the same way? Even I think it was an X-Wing both times. I mean, how stupid could the Empire be to build it the same way? I mean, really? Man, that is so dumb. Okay, let's see. Hint. Oh, I see. Sorry, I'm reading now. I have space for a narrow N-scale layout along the window. Yeah, I could probably put a time saver back here. But you know what? I'm doing one thing at a time. And right now I'm trying to get good at this DCC installation stuff. I don't have any real interest right now about, to build a layout or something like that. So, it'll happen eventually, and I will, and I'm sure I'll enjoy it. And I'm sure when I do it, I'll make videos about it too. Okay. Reading more. Yeah, 2:31 on Dish, Monday at 4:30 Central. That is the time for Trains and Locomotives on RFDTV. It's very cool. Tycho, as in cheap, not very well detailed, poor running. Well, I know what Tycho is. I just didn't understand what Tycho smirk meant. Train Man, have a shout out. I already said hello, Train Man. So there's your shout out. Union Pacific Rail Fan for Life. What's up? Well, I'm doing another live thing. Now that I think about it. Hey. Oh, right. That's right, Daniel. Hey. That's right. You already told me who you are. I'm sorry. I'm distracted right now because I'm reading all this stuff and I'm trying to show people my incredible projects. Looks like I should be eating it. Like, but what I was going to say a second ago is I like this interactivity on these live things. I could see getting addicted to this live thing. And I've talked about recently on, I think it was on a podcast, about the little bell. It's down in the lower right corner of the screen. And it's so funny. I got to tell you guys, I'm going to put the responding to comments here on hold for just a second, because I want to tell you this. I have these thoughts sometimes and it just cracks me the hell up. Think about this. YouTube, right? Everybody subscribe. Please subscribe. So you subscribe, and then YouTube knows that you've subscribed to 1,000 channels, and it's impossible to keep track of all these channels. So YouTube came up with a new idea. The bell down here. It's somewhere down around here. Click on the bell. That way you're subscribed, right? So if you click the bell, you get notifications. And this is why I brought this up. If you click the bell, you'll get notifications when I go live like this. A little thing will come up on your computer. Hey, TSG Multimedia just went live with a live stream, which is great. I love it. I think that's great. But the thing I find funny about it is that you're not only subscribed, but now you had to ring the bell too. So what's going to be next, right? Because you'll have so many bells that you've rung and so many subscriptions you have. Now they're going to have to come up with some other thing. They'll put a little butterfly on the screen or something like that. It's a little redundant is kind of what I'm getting at here. So where was I going with that? Oh, I was going to tell you to ring the bell. Ring the damn bell. It'll make you happy. If you ring the bell, it'll make everybody happy, because if I go live, you'll get to see it. Okay. Now, where was I? Illinois Central had the Death Star paint scheme. I did not know that. Anyway, let's see. Can I have a shout out? Okay, that's where I left off. Can I have a shout out? Illinois Central had the Death Star. Never was a Star Wars fan. And you know what, Lone Wolf? That's fine. Because honestly, I'm only a Star Wars fan because I grew up with it. I was around in 1977. I went to a movie theater in Stockton, California in 1977 and 1978, because I've watched the original Star Wars, I think 17 times or something like that, because it was in the movie theater for a long time. And I remember going to see Star Wars, and I was sick as a dog. Imagine a kid. I was probably 8 or 9, or 8 or 9 at the time. There was 9 at the time when it came out. And this poor person, I'll never forget this. I probably made this person sick. I don't even know why I was allowed to go see Star Wars that day, but I was sick. I had the flu or something. And so my parents took us to Stockton. I lived out in the country, okay? Took us to Stockton to go see Star Wars. And I'm sitting in the movie theater, and my mom, I think, gave me a bag to go into the movie theater with in case I had to barf. And this poor person sitting next to me, I'll never forget. I'm like, what's wrong with you? I said, oh, I might throw up or something like that. No, I didn't throw up during the movie, but can you imagine though, that poor person just paid their $1.75. Okay. Look, it was a long time ago, all right? It costs $1.75 or $1.25 for the matinee. It was probably the matinee, right? Because anyway, so I'm sitting in there and this poor person next to me. Oh man. And I didn't barf. Thank goodness. I would have felt so bad now. This is what I'm like, you guys. I feel bad for stuff that happened 30 years ago or 40 years ago. Anyway, I tried to be a Star Wars fan, but I couldn't. Oh, what I was going to say about that Lone Wolf is it's okay that you weren't a Star Wars fan, because what it's turned into now, I don't know. I mean, George Lucas sold it to Disney, and, Disney's turned Star Wars into action movies. They're very light on story and very heavy on action. And I think, man, if you want to make action movies, but don't turn Star Wars into something that I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I'll just leave it at that, and it's really depressing because it's been kind of a staple, kind of this institution, kind of something that you could always go back to, and you watch it again and you're just like, oh, that's so good. I mean, even to the point where I've gotten used to the prequels, episodes 1, 2, and 3. I can watch episode 1 and I don't get sick every time that Jar Jar Binks thing comes on. Whatever it is. I can watch them now, and I can watch and see Liam Neeson being Qui-Gon, and boy, he was a badass Jedi, wasn't he? And seeing how Ewan McGregor portrayed the young Obi-Wan Kenobi, I actually got to where I can watch those and I like them now. Or, episode 2 is really good. Episode 1 still is not the best, but it's okay. I can watch it and be like, okay, I can watch this. They're kind of setting you up for the, for what comes next and all that. Anyway, so if you're not a Star Wars fan, more power to you, because seeing how Disney is butchering it is pretty depressing. Anyway, back to comments here. What happened to Dan? Dan decided he has other priorities in his life. And frankly, honestly, I don't think he's doing any modeling. I mean, the last time that I talked to him was back in January. And I'm trying to think of how to do this sensitively so that it doesn't piss people off or give the wrong impression. In January, he had not worked on a model for 3 or maybe 4 months. And I've known Dan for 30 some odd years, and he's never not worked on models. That's part of what he is. So he was acting kind of weird. And the same thing had happened a couple of years ago. And I told him back then that I wasn't going to go through that again. So it's just as well. He decided that he had other priorities, and that's fine. More power to him. I really hope he's happy with what he's doing. It's a total departure from what he's been doing for 30 years, but that's okay. And I wish him the best. I really do. I hope he's happy, and I hope he's satisfied with all the decisions that he's making. Anyway, that's it for now on that front. So ring the bell. What's going on in here? I saw you were on What's Neat. Good job. Thanks, Randy's Rock and Roll Railroad. Oh, I see. Yeah, thanks, Randy. I appreciate that. I really had a lot of fun being on for those, what was it, 23 minutes, 27 minutes? It's weird because I almost felt like I was there, and I know I wasn't, but I don't know. These guys do a good job, and I don't know how Ken Patterson has the energy to do what he does. I mean, he puts out so much stuff all the time, and I'm telling you, because I know, right, from doing these videos, it takes a lot of work and a lot of time to do the amount of editing that poor guy must be doing. So I really have a lot of respect for what he's doing and the way he presents things. He's such a positive guy. And I'll tell you, I'll get out there one of these days. I think it would be a blast to go on that show live and just to be in the room and see people running the trains and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. Okay. Zachary, Flo, hi, enjoy your videos. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Zachary. And that's the kind of comments that makes me want to keep up what I'm doing. So cool. Okay. Hi, Randy. What's up? That's not for me. Relaxing? That's not for me either, but I'm glad you're relaxing. I agree. There's no longer a plot to Star Wars. Yeah. You know what, though? There's a plot, but they're not plot-driven movies anymore. They're action-driven movies, and it was never like that. George Lucas never made it that way. I don't think they were ever intended to be action-driven movies. Case in point, okay? I think the most recent release, and I forgot now what it was called, The Force Awakens, that's what it was. There was this totally absurd even people call it a side quest. And a side quest is sort of gaming terminology for something that's not really related to the main thing, but you do it anyway because it's fun. I'm thinking like Skyrim side quests or Far Cry or, games like that. There's all these side quests and you go on side quests to do extra time. It's something extra to do that's additional fun, but not really part of the main quest. And people are calling this side quest the casino side quest. You remember in The Force Awakens, these people have to go find a decoder guy, and there's only one person in the. Oh, sorry, I almost cussed. See, I'm going to get in trouble doing this because I will start talking the way I normally talk to people, and you'll hear some cussing that's going to upset some people. It's this side quest to a casino planet, and they're poor, downtrodden stable boys. And these two go there. What's his name? Finn is going to abandon ship. And this little guard lady, the Asian girl, who's in love with him. She's a fanboy of Finn, I guess. And just the whole thing is so far-fetched and out of place with the story. They went on and escaped out a side hatch in a ship to go try to find this guy that they need to decode some super encoded Empire code to crack the code and get the ship to self-destruct or whatever it was, some stupid crap like that. And they made it back in time and all this, but they didn't find the guy they were looking for, but there just happened to be a guy in the cell that they got put in when they were captured, and he just happened to be a master decoder. Man, I mean, how stupid. Look, I realize that Star Wars is fiction in a galaxy far, far away and all that stuff. But you know what? Cut me a piece, all right? It should still be at least believable within the context that they've built for it. And that side quest was so far-fetched and stupidly unbelievable. Way too many coincidences to even while I'm watching fiction to go, okay, I'll go with that. It made no sense and it was just stupid. Sorry, that's how I felt when I was watching. I was like, what is this? I don't understand. They're going to a casino. What? Okay, back to comments. I agree there is no longer a plot. Where is Dan? He's probably in Oregon. Who knows? When will survey winners be announced? Oh, I'm glad you asked that. Do I still talk to Dan? No, my phone is open though. If he ever wants to call or text message me, the last time I communicated with him, I sent a message to him and I don't hear from him. So, whatever. When will the survey winners be announced? I want to answer that one. I'm going to announce the answer to that question during this coming up podcast in a couple of weeks here, or a week and a half, whatever it is. On it's the weekend of May 19th and 20th. I have it written down here. Let's consult the magical TSG multimedia calendar. Okay. Oh, I didn't write it down in the calendar yet. Well, I got to update my calendar, don't I? the answer to the question is the weekend of May 19th and 20th. I am going to do a special live webcast like this, only this one's going to be scheduled so that people will know it's coming. And I'm going to draw the names out of a conductor's hat. So that's when it's going to happen. And it's going to be 3 winners, right? 3 winners of individual videos. I'm pointing back here because I have them sitting back here on the shelf. Actually, on that same shelf, you can see right there. They're just over a little bit. But I'm going to draw 3 winners for 1 video each. And then I'll ship those to whoever wins. And then there's going to be one sort of grand prize, right, of all 5 titles. So anyway, okay, I hit the bell. Cool. So PNWR 1854, that's when the survey winners are going to be announced. Thanks for hitting the bell. Everybody else hit the bell. Or you know what? Don't hit the bell. Instead, go to channel 2 and subscribe to channel 2, because I'm trying like hell to get channel 2 up to 1,000 subscribers. And it's really close to 800 now. The reason why is because I'm doing other videos for that channel that are not railroad related, but they still have a historical flavor to them. And currently, there's no monetization on channel 2. So it really is taking a second seat or a back burner to channel 1, which is what you're watching now. So, but eventually I want to have enough subscribers on there so that, you know, YouTube will start monetization again and give me the advanced features that you get when you have over 1,000 subscribers. And the reason I value this is because I'm really excited about not just railroads and train history, but historical preservation in general. And there is so much everywhere you look. I've been going to these parks, and a lot of these parks are built on very historic sites. And if you just do a little digging, you're going to find out all kinds of neat information about why stuff is there, when it got put there, and so forth. And the series that I'm working on developing for Channel 2 is called Bay Area Day Trips. And I have the first one already done. It's scheduled on Channel 2 to come out on the 1st of the month. And it's about this place in this area where I live called Mount Umunum. And it's this weird building up on the hill. And I've always wondered about it. And I'm not going to give you any spoilers. I want you to watch Channel 2 on May 5th. It'll be out at the same time as when the podcast on this channel comes out. So after you're done watching the podcast here, go and watch the Mount Umunum special. And it's only like 10 minutes or five. It's between 5 and 10 minutes. It's a really cool video, though, if I say so myself, because it presents you with historical stuff. And it's a place that you can go visit now and see a lot of the stuff that's still there. I think that's really cool. And that's one of the things that I've liked so much about railroad videos and making railroad videos, not the modeling videos, but the prototype videos. There is so much history, and it's just fascinating. Anyway, going back to this, I hit the bell. Oh, so hit the bell on channel, or hit the bell on this channel, but go to channel 2 and subscribe too, because once I get 1,000 subscriptions on that one, I'm going to really focus more on doing more interesting content that's not train related. Anyway, that was awesome when I saw you on Ken Patterson. Yeah, like I said before, I had a lot of fun doing that one. Illinois Railway Videos wants to know, can you have my GEVOs? I don't have any GEVOs. Yeah, so sure, you can have all of the GEVOs I have. I don't have any. Sorry. Thanks for the Dan update. Well, you're welcome. You know, I don't know what to tell you about that. You know, when he left, I left the door open for him. So, you know, maybe he'll be a guest celebrity someday when he figures out that he's interested in being on good looking train videos again. I look forward to your videos. Thank you very much. I look forward to putting them out. And frankly, those are the kind of comments that encourages me to continue putting them out. Okay, so Zachary wants to know, Kato Unitrack or Atlas Code 83 HO scale for track. Doesn't that really depend on what your goals are? I would be inclined to say that Unitrack is easier to put together, but you may be a little bit limited because it only comes in certain lengths and certain curves and certain sizes. Although there is a way to turn your Kato Unitrack into the equivalent of Flex Track. So I don't remember. I think it was Mike Pfeiffer. He's an N-scale guy who has a great channel. He shows you all kinds of neat little tricks. So whoops, I'm losing my drink there. So if you look up Mike Pfeiffer's N-scale channel, you can probably find information about Kato Unitrack. Okay, so Atlas Code 83, I just answered that one. Disney killed Star Wars, kind of answered that one too. Why do they own everything? Yeah, good question, but Disney sure seems to own a lot, don't they? Can I please have a GEVO? Yeah, you can have all my GEVOs, Illinois. IRV, all of them. I don't have any, so. Okay, Ken Patterson rocks. I just subscribed to your channel. Enjoy your videos. Thanks, Greg. And boy, that's a great Italian last name. Ricciardi. Awesome. Okay. It's called The Last Jedi, not The Force Awakens. Oh, you're right, Roundhouse. See what I mean? I don't even care anymore. I don't even know what the thing's called. But you're right. It was The Last Jedi. That's another thing. Oh, you're going to get me going about this one. Luke Skywalker turned into such a wuss. I don't want to train any more Jedi because I don't know how to handle it. Stop me. Fun podcast. Oh, I'm assuming you're talking about Ken Patterson's. Yeah, it is fun. Those guys have a lot of fun, and you can tell that they like what they're doing. Philip, amen. I'm assuming you're talking about my Star Wars but dialogue or monologue, my Star Wars rant. Trains in Star Wars, how can you go wrong? Well, like I said before, I think Star Wars is on the wrong track personally. And I have some ideas about how you can go wrong with trains, but I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want to piss people off right now. Why don't you and Dan talk anymore? Like full story. I don't have a full story. You'd have to ask him why he doesn't want to talk. Let's see. CN is slowly killing off GTW, BC Rail, and IC units. Okay, well, I don't know enough about what Canadian National is doing to have a comment on that. Billy Strong, Channel 2 is TSG Channel 2. And if you look on my main page when you're done with this, and you can find my main page by looking down, I think it's down here someplace, where the title of this video is, and just under or just above that title of this video, it says TSG Multimedia. If you click on that, it'll take you away from this video if you do that. So I'm just setting you up here. But if you click on that TSG Multimedia link, it'll take you to the main page of this channel. And if you scroll down just a little bit from on the main page, you'll see a little round sort of maroon looking number 2. That's channel 2. If you click on that link, it'll take you to channel 2. And there's all kinds of stuff. You know, I do a lot of different videos, and I'm going to go away from the comments here for just a second because I want to tell you guys this. I do a lot of different stuff video wise, and channel 2 has 400 or 500 or 600 videos on it. Now, they're not all awesome, you know, perfectly produced videos. A lot of times it's just me trying stuff just to see what effect something will do. And I'm like, oh, well, this is kind of cool. I think I'll put it up on channel 2. Just who knows? Maybe it'll go viral. You never know, right? With YouTube, you never know what people are gonna look at and go, oh, that's cool. I'm going to share it with my 150 friends or 1,500 friends on Facebook or whatever. So there's product reviews, which are useful because it's products that you might end up actually wanting. There's how-to videos. I've learned a lot about working on cars over the years. In specific, I have a 1996 Corolla that I've had since 1996. It was my first ever new car that I bought for myself. And then she has a Prius and has had Priuses over the years. So I've been using or learning how to work on Prius as well. Anyway, so there's how-to videos, there's life hacks, like how to replace a screen door, or I don't know. I'm trying to think of some other stuff that I've done on there, but So anyway, it has a lot of different stuff. Some of the videos that are on that channel and the ones that I feel most proud of are what I call naturescape videos, which are videos that I've taken mostly with my iPhone, and I'll find things out in nature. And they're like 3-minute compilations set to sort of ambient music. But I really like them because it gives me a chance to do um, experiments in composition and stuff like that. And I like looking at stuff close up, leaves and bugs and bees, flying around, flowers and stuff like that. So I really like these naturescape videos, but they don't get a lot of views on that channel. I think just because when I released them, I didn't have a lot of subscribers on there, so they didn't get any traction with YouTube's search algorithms or discovery algorithms. But I'm really proud of those, and I really like them a lot. So if you do go to channel 2 and you like that kind of stuff, they're kind of artistic, artsy fartsy stuff. But some of the compositions, especially in the later ones, I think there's maybe 20 altogether or somewhere thereabouts. The first 5 or 10, I was really just trying to figure out what I was doing. But everything after that became, I don't know, a lot better because I kind of perfected the craft, if you will, or practiced it. Anyway, back to these comments here. I think the best part of what you and Ken and all the guys with Ken, you are real and come across as regular people. Keep putting out great videos and live stuff. It's a great watch. Yeah, thanks, Trenton. And I agree with you. I don't mean I agree with you. Well, I mean, I guess I do agree with you. We are real people. I mean, I'm not putting on airs here. I'm just being straight with you guys, whatever you're asking me here. That's why I love this interactive stuff. It's really fun. Okay. I'm playing, and thank you for the compliment, Trenton Lee. That's nice to hear. And that's the kind of compliment that keeps me doing this. Okay. I'm playing with my HO trains right now. Well, cool. I have mine right up here on my desk. I have some Amtrak P42 DC locomotives from Athearn. Okay. Well, good. Those are nice models, aren't they? The Kato ones are good too. I think I've seen both. And I think that the Kato ones are more innovative, especially the new ones, because they have a motor on each of the trucks, which is really cool. So those things will pull a lot. They have a lot of traction. But the Athearn ones, I think, are detailed better. I remember because we did some reviews on both of those brands back when Dan was still doing reviews here. Okay. If I build a model railroad, what railroad and route will I build? You know what, PNW, that is so not on my radar right now. I have no intentions right now of building any layout of any type. I mean, right now, it'll happen eventually. As I mentioned earlier in this video, I'm more interested right now in learning how to do this, how to work on the models and make the models so that you can run them on a railroad. So I don't really have, I mean, if I were able to, build something here, which I really don't have any space for it, but if I had my dream come true and I had a big space, I probably would want an N scale layout and an HO layout. And I would probably go for something modern because I really like the modern engines. I find them really cool. I'm probably because that's what I see when I'm out filming prototypes, Anyway, so it would probably be something modern, and it would probably be something West Coast or someplace west of the Mississippi so that I could model the stuff that I see all the time. That really appeals to me. Okay, my Italian name is good too. Gianni Puloni. Nice. Okay, well, we got to stick together, man. Italians unite. This is also a fun podcast. Brent, this isn't really a podcast. Well, I mean, I guess it could be. I don't know what this is. A podcast to me is when I sit down and tell you guys what I'm up to and what I'm planning to do. And that always comes out on the first Saturday of the month on my channel. And I do it right here in this studio. I have a whole script. I wish I could show you guys the script. It's like 3 pages of the stuff that I'm trying to remember to tell you because I have so much going on. That's another thing that's been really great. People were asking earlier about not, working with Dan anymore. I don't have to conform to somebody else's schedule who's conforming to yet somebody else's schedule. And that is one of the best things. It's wonderful not having to worry about, oh, I can't do something that weekend because I'm already busy with my girlfriend or whatever. It's like getting out of prison. Believe me, it's wonderful. So anyway, I didn't butcher the last name. Oh, right. Yeah, it's that's how you're supposed to say it. A lot of people would say Ricciardi, but that's not right because 2 C's with an I is a chi sound. West Coast Rails on YouTube. I think I've seen West Coast Rails on YouTube. Let's see. Union Pacific is trying to have all locomotives painted yellow by the end of the year. All unpatched SP and CNW engines have been patched. The last Rio Grande engine was repainted. And by the way, let me do some of these other, but I want to comment about that UP thing because I have a rant that I want to tell you guys, and I'd like to get your feedback on this but I want to read some more of these real quick. Real story. The real story is he has other priorities that involve other people. I mean, that's the short and sweet story is there's other stuff about work ethic or not having work ethic and so forth and such and so on. But I'm not going to get into it because it really doesn't matter. I've moved on. It's onward and upward for me. So, you can go with me or you can worry about what happened. I'm not worried about it. Do you like BC Rail? Sure, I do. Full story behind. 2 CNWs that were under contract with Illinois Railroad repainted. Really? I didn't know about that. I'd have to learn more about that, PNWR, about what you're talking about. TSG Channel 1 is starting to have more energy, enjoying it more. Wiley's Wandering. Yeah, I really like what John Wiley did. Wiley's Wanderings. The final episode of this initial run of Wiley's Wanderings is going to come out this Sunday at 9 Pacific. What a great series, isn't it? I mean, it was so awesome because John was going to, I'm going to talk about this for just a second. John was going to Seattle and he told me he was going to Seattle. He's like, hey, you should come too. I'm like, dude, I can't afford to go to Seattle right now. And I can't. So anyway, so he went to Seattle and he went early. He went up there a couple days before he was supposed to be there for Soundrail. And I was kind of just talking to him in text messages. I wasn't really, I was just kind of joking around. I'm like, oh yeah, dude, take some pictures. I can show people what you're, Jesus, show people what you're doing up there. I think that's cool. And in the meantime, you see this, there's someone else commenting right now who's asking for this. And I don't know. I guess I could have just done this earlier. Watch. Here it is. Sorry about that. I didn't know you were going to want the key, and I always keep it with me when I'm here. So John was up in Seattle, and he ended up getting one of those little handheld gimbal things for your phone. I don't have one, or else I would show you. And it takes pretty good video. And he uploaded those to show me what he was doing. And I put it into the editor here on the computer, and it worked. So I'm like, hey, I think I'm just going to make a bunch of videos out of this. It'll be fun. And so I did, and it was, and people seem to like it. So I'm really glad about that. Let's see, starting to have more energy, Daniel Hackett. Right, Daniel, and that's what I was talking about. It has more energy because the people who are doing this actually want to be here and actually want to do this. Okay, that you can read between the lines to figure out what happened there. I want to talk about the UP thing here, but let me just read this live stream, repaint notes. Okay. Do you like BC Rail again? Yes. I already answered that. I really like, I can't think of a train or a railroad organization that I don't like. I mean, there are reasons why I don't like certain things that certain railroad organizations do. But, you know, what are you going to do? I mean, it's not my decision how UP paints their stuff. And if they bought Rio Grande and they bought SP and they bought CNW and they bought every Western Pacific and they bought everybody else, you know, hey, that's their business, I guess. Anyway, later, everyone. See you later, Randy. Oh my goodness, I've gone for over an hour. I got to wrap this up here pretty soon because playoff hockey is coming on pretty soon, and I don't want to miss that. But anyway, budget railroad modelers. Brent, you know what? I'm a budget model railroader too. Okay. When is my next product review? You know what? Santa Fe Railway Productions. I don't have one right now. I just did one actually in this live webcast. I did a product review update on the SD70, the Athearn SD70s that I just reviewed last week or whenever it was. And I did a product review update on the Magnifying Visor to let people know that the monocle can be switched from the side to the other side. Anyway, next product review. Trainman, actually, my watermark is not a VHS camcorder. It's actually based on the Canon XL1, which was a mini DV, a standard definition, but mini DV camcorder. New York Central, cool. Do you know if you have to have an ESU controller to run a loco that have one in it? Oh, ESU decoders work with any controller on any DCC system that uses NMRA DCC standards. Look, we have another Italian last name, John Bellucci. New York Central. Yeah, that would be a good one. I have a friend that has, see you later, Nate. I have a friend that has a lot of original photographs of New York Central locomotives. Anyway, yeah, right. Pies on. Okay, back to this, and then I'm going to go. I'm going to give you guys a rant about UP's heritage units. I think that Amtrak has the right idea. Amtrak is using the actual paint schemes that they had on their heritage units. And I'm not sure why UP wants to have their, I mean, I understand it's branding, but look, if you have a fleet of thousands of locomotives, why not pay some respect to the fallen flags that you've taken over by just having it in their paint scheme? Can you imagine how cool it would be to see a bloody nose SD70 Ace come down the tracks? Now, it could still say Union Pacific on it. It doesn't have to say SP. I don't care about that. But why not just have a true to what it probably would have looked like? Or how about a Black Widow one or a Kodachrome one? Just one. You don't have to do a whole bunch, just one. Wouldn't that be cool? Or to see a WP in the silver and orange paint scheme, but a UP, a current modern locomotive. That's how to do a heritage unit right. And maybe they figure it costs too much, or maybe they just want everything yellow because, damn it, it's Union Pacific, man. That's our color. And whatever, they're going to do whatever they want. And I don't care. I'm not going to be all upset with them. Do I think their SP heritage unit looks like someone threw up on it? I do. I think it looks terrible. But that's how they decided to paint it. And it's their decision how they decide to paint it. But do I think it would look a hell of a lot better as a bloody nose or any other real SP paint scheme? Hell yeah. That would look way better. And do you know what it would also do? I think that it would endear them more with rail fans, because right now I've heard people call UP as in UP on stuff, YOUPEE, UP. I've heard them. There's all kinds of derogatory names that foamers have come up for UP or all these just, and then people don't like them. Oh, well, they just gobbled up everyone so they can kiss my butt or whatever. I get that, but I'm not such a foamer that I'm worried about that kind of thing. I don't care. But why not just, if it were up to me and I were in charge of UP, for example, or even, BNSF, I would do the same thing with BNSF. I would make a Burlington Northern green locomotive, and I would make a Santa Fe. Well, I mean, I guess BNSF did the war bonnets, but what about the cat whisker Santa Fe's? I mean, there are so many other or the black Santa Fe with the stripes on them. There are so many really cool old paint schemes, and the rail fans would love it. The rail fans would eat that up. The rail fans would be like, "Oh my God, Union Pacific, you're the best railroad company ever," or "Oh, BNSF, you're the best railroad company ever." I think if they just did some true to the original heritage units, and I'm sure they could do it. I really don't understand why they don't. I think the goodwill that would build up among the public, especially among rail fans, would be worth it. Anyway, WP Silver and Orange, I'm telling you, that is such a cool paint scheme. Can you imagine seeing one of these new locomotives come by? Now, mentioning WP, that's the one heritage unit and the Katy one is pretty cool too. But I like the WP heritage unit. I think they did a pretty good job with that one. Yeah, the yellow Borg. I mean, I'm reading the comments now because when I went on my rant there, I took my glasses off so I couldn't read this stuff. Anyway, okay. Are the NS heritage units accurate? I don't know. I'm really not that versed on Norfolk Southern. I really like their logo, the horse, and I like their black and black and white paint scheme. I think it's simple, but it looks cool. Anyway, KCS I think has cool paint schemes too. Someone on here? I just saw this. It sort of flashed by here, and I wanted to comment here. I can't find it now. Go Golden Knights! There it is. Cloverdale. What are you talking about? You have to go with the underdogs, man. And that's my home team here, the San Jose Sharks. Do I think they're going to beat the Knights? Not really. Do I hope they do? You bet. The way they've been playing, they might even have a chance to. But the way the Knights are playing that's how you play hockey. There is no time for anyone to do anything if you're playing against the Knights. Man, they're in the passing lanes too. So if you get the puck and you don't make a good pass immediately, they're going to get it. So I don't have a lot of hope for the Sharks in the second round. But I do hope they win. You know what I mean? Okay. The WP unit is covered in graffiti. Are you kidding? Well, that's a real bummer. I could go on another rant about graffiti, but I'll save that for next time. Because I've been on for almost an hour and 15 minutes. What am I doing here? I'm just having fun talking to you guys. But anyway, I've had other comments show up in the list here that my dinner has been ready for a while, but it's been going cold here. So why don't I go now? And wow. Hey, I had a lot of fun though talking to everybody. I'm going to do this again. I really do have a lot of fun doing these live things. I love this interactive stuff. It's really cool. So, one last thing, ring the bell, right? That's the thing down here so that if I go live, you'll be notified. So, and I'll probably go live. I was not planning to go live until May 20th or whatever I said earlier, when I'm going to do the drawing for the winners of the survey responses. So I got three things: ring the bell, Subscribe to channel 2 if you haven't already, or at least check it out. And if it sucks, don't subscribe, but whatever. And then the other thing is, what was the other thing? I guess I was going to talk about the survey, maybe. The survey, the viewer survey on www.tsgmultimedia is still live. So if you want to have a say in how I'm doing stuff here and give me feedback about what you like, what you don't like, or how long you watch, when you watch, that kind of thing, it's only 4 or 5 questions. It'll take you about 2 minutes. And everybody who takes the survey, response to the survey, gets entered for 3 things. 1, you'll get a discount code for videos on the website. Everybody gets that, okay? Just by filling out the survey. Everyone is going to get a code for a discount on the website. So if you're going to buy a video, that's the way to do it. 2, I'm going to have 3 lucky people win 1 video, and you'll get to choose from 5 titles that I've selected here. And then the last thing is, thanks, Billy. I appreciate that. The last thing, John, exactly. The last thing is that there's going to be 1 grand prize, if you will, winner of all 5 of the video titles that I'm giving away. So, look, I'm really sorry if I talk about the survey and channel 2 and all that stuff so much. I'm not trying to bore people with it or be a nag or harass you about it. It's just I'm trying to get channel 2 to 1,000 for good reasons. And the whole survey thing is for good reasons too. But I think the survey thing also benefits you because you get to have a say, right, in what I'm trying to do here. I really do use the information that I get to sort of develop things and decide what I'm going to do here. And what I'm trying to decide is what people like more. And if I determine, like, for example, real quick, and then I am going to go. I got to go because my dinner is cold now. Thanks a lot. And you're welcome for eating cold so I can talk to you guys. Oh, now I lost the track. What was I talking about? This happens when you get older. Oh, the game's already on? Well, shoot, I'm already missing my game. See what happens? Shoot. Yeah. Well, I lost the track. I started talking about something else and I lost my track. So I'm just going to go now. I will talk to everybody later. Thanks for sticking here and hanging out with me. Had a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, I'll catch you guys next time. And yeah, something about the survey, something about feedback. And what I was going to talk to you about was a quick, I was going to talk to you about chasing trains. That's right. So I know that a lot of people really like chasing trains. Okay. That's a series that I played with a lot last year. Kind of did one on a lark and I had so much fun and it seemed like people liked it. And the people who like chasing trains really like it. Okay. Ethanville or Ethanville, bro, right? You miss it. You really like that show, right? But when I would look at the number of views that it got, it wasn't really a lot of views. So it's a weird sort of series of videos that the people who like it really, really like it. And the people, other people just don't care. But the people who do like it really like it. So because of that, I have plans, and I'm going to talk about this in the podcast too. I have plans within the next couple of weeks. I'm going to go with some guys and we're going to chase trains. So there is a chasing trains video in the works. Okay. I wanted to make sure you know that, just so that you know you have something to look forward to. Now I'm going because I'm missing my game and my dinner's cold too, but it was worth it because I enjoyed talking to you guys. I'll catch you all on the next either podcast, or if I happen to turn the camera on here again and get sucked in for another hour and a half session. But I will catch you all next time. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you then. Bye.